The first, what we said, reproduction. Other one, we are talking in the heading of the functionalism. Reproduction, primary socialization. The what next? Social control. Now, what is the fourth function of the family? Every person, every children needs some kind of a care. It could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be intellectual. And where that children can get this kind of a care? Just from the family. When he or she born, he or she needs some kind of a care, and where they will get it from the family. Got my point? Now, first, next, the fifth point. Every person gets some kind of a status, and that status or the identity provided by that particular family. If you are a khatak, you are not khatak by born. This is a status you are earning from your family. Is that so? The last one could be sexual behaviors. How you behave, or what kind of approved relationship of viewers within a society. And this is something you learned from your family. Okay? That was the functionalist approach. You just have to remember the bullet points. What we discussed in the first point, the reproduction, primary socialization, social control, then care of the children, status, then sexual behaviors. Okay, these were some of the functionalist point of view on the family setup. Now, the next one is the Marxist. The Marxist approach is the conflict approach. What they said? They said family can only understand their relationships with the economy. Whenever we talk about the Marxism, Shahriz, remember that we will talk about some financial position, some financial health of the person. So what they said, family can only understand their relationships with economic situation. Now, what does it mean? They said we have two basic classes. The one is dominant class and other one is dominated class. Dominant class are those who hold or who control the factor of the production. The other one is known as working class. So they said working class normally taught their children that you have to go for a job like 9 to 5, and you can't do anything in front of your boss. Okay, this is some kind of a slavery situation you are teaching to your kids. Okay, and this is all happening because they don't have much money. Okay, they can't even tell their children that how you can become a leader. Why? Because every situation is linking with their financial situations. Getting my point? Now, the third one is that family produce next generation workers. Why they are producing next generation workers? Because of their financial health. The person who is so rich, he or she won't ask their kids that you have to go for some kind of a job. No, you have to do some kind of a business. Okay, if you remember Rich Dad Poor Dad, okay, the idea you can get from that particular book, that how rich person think and how poor person think, and everything is related to what? Is related to their financial positions. Now, what could be the next? They said mostly men work in a corporate sector and work for a bourgeoisie, work for dominant class. Now, what will ultimately happen? They face discrimination. Discrimination in what sense? Bourgeoisie will come on a high class car. Internally, they will feel like it could be the reason of their inferiority complex. Okay, they will pressurize them. They may offer them very lower wages, lower salary, and extra burden of the work. What ultimately happened? That person will be oppressed. Now, how he can release his frustration when he will come back at home? He will fight with his wife or with his kids. Okay, that would be the reason of his frustration, then how he can overcome his frustration. So because of that particular situation, the family setup will be disturbed. Okay. Now, in easy word, you can say husband and wife relationship is highly depending on the economic situation. If their economic situation is well, they will stay in love. Otherwise, they will fight with each other. The last one is feminism. What they think about the family role. No, feminism, normally we have, they basically said family is the exploited unit. Family is the exploited unit. Why? Because, now remember one thing, females are burdenized. It could be, you can say, females are double burdenized or triple burdenized. What do you mean by double burdenized and triple burdenized? Double burdenized, a female who control his home, as well as there are some ladies who go for work. Okay, now that's become double burden on their shoulder. They said there are three burden, triple burden: home, job, plus they are listening the issues of their kids as well as their husbands. So because of their triple burden, they are not much creative as the men are. Why? Because they have a single burden. Getting my point? So we categorize the feminism into three types. The first one is liberal feminism. What they said, women are discriminated because of unequal opportunities. Then the Marxist feminism said capital affects both. The third one, radical feminist, they said it opposes the family institutions. What they believe reproduction shouldn't be held by women, because men feed them, exploit them for a reason, and then leave them. Okay, that is the reason they give to about the liberal feminism. Okay, now the last term we have is new right. What the new right? New right said that under the current situation, the best family setup is nuclear family. Okay, where children has both father and the mother. Mother cannot fulfill the space or the position of the father, and the father cannot fulfill the position and the space and the authority of the mother. Okay, every person needs some characteristics of the mother and some characteristics of the father. So when the family is the nuclear, the family setup is more beautiful and is not exploited